say? What? You mean all these things? Has my little splendid been wasting away money?
Oh yes, but Roma, we can't let ourselves go little. It's the first Christmas of not need a economy.
Yes, but then it will be a whole quarters before the salary is due.
We can borrow one.
Nora, suppose now I was to borrow £50 and then you spent it all on the Christmas time. And then on the New Year's Eve a slave fell on my head and killed me.
Don't say such horrid things.
But still, suppose that was to happen.
Well, I don't suppose I should care whether they borrowed money or not.
And what about the people who had lent it?
Hey, who should care what they actually care to do?
That is like a woman. But seriously, Nora, you know what I think about that? There can be no freedom in a family that depends on both debt and borrowing. And we too have kept it on the straight road so far. And we shall continue to do so for the longest time that there need be any struggle.
As you please, Roma.
Oh, come. Oh, what is this? Is my little squirrel out of temper? Well, Nora, what do you think I have here?
Money!
Yeah.
Essentially,
Do you think that I know that a lot is needed for housekeeping?
this is taking for a very long time. Well, let me show you all I have to about it. Luke, a news for Arthur, a sword for God, and the dollies and the dollies president for Amy, also made by measurements of break it into pieces, and bracelets and handkerchief for the waist. All amateur we have something better.
And what is in this basket?
You mustn't say this until this evening.
Well, okay, but now tell me, you extravagant little person, what do you really like for yourself?
I don't think all of it.
Yes, but you must. Tell me something reasonable that you particularly like for yourself.
Well, if you really want to give me something nice, you might give me money. Well, only as much as you want to do.
But Nora, what a little people call that are wasting away money.
Spendthrift. Okay, we shall do as you suggested. I shall have time to think of what and most part of everything. That's a very simple plan.
Yes, that it is. Indeed, that is to say, if you are to really save up the money that I give you. But if you spend it all on the Christmas time and a number of unnecessary things, then I'll merely have to pay up again. You can't deny it. It's a sweet little spending, but she uses up a great deal of money. One can hardly believe how expensive little persons are.
I do save all I can.
That is very true, all you can. But Nora, you can't save anything.
But you have no idea how many expenses these squirrels and skylarks have.
You're an odd little soul, very like your father. You always find new ways of wheedling money out of me, and when you have it in your hands, it seems to evaporate, you never know where it has gone. But still, one must take you as you are, for it is true one can inherit some things, Nora.
I wish I inherited most of Papa's qualities.
And I will not wish you to be anything rather than what you are right now. But you know, it strikes me that you're looking rather, what shall I say, rather uneasy today.
Well,
Yes, really do look sweet at me. Hasn't Miss Sweetu been breaking rules in town?
no, where could you think that?
No paid a visit to the confectioner?
No, sure.
Not being sweet? Not taking a bite from a bowl or two? I was only joking. Indeed, you gave me a word.
I didn't think to bargain this wishes.
Yes. Well, keep your little Christmas secrets to yourself. They will be revealed this evening when the Christmas tree is lit.
Did you ever invite us that?
No, but as a matter of fact, you'll be coming to dinner with us. Anyway, I'll tell you when it comes in this evening. You see, I've ordered some good wine. You can't imagine how I'm looking forward for this evening. You know, it is delightful for one to feel that he has a simply booked appointment and a big enough income too. Nora, do you remember last Christmas? For whole 3 weeks before, you shut yourself making ornaments with the Christmas tree, and a number of unnecessary things are supposed to be surprised to us. Not the dullest 3 weeks I've ever spent.
I did find it down.
But there was a precious little result, Nora.
No, don't tease me about that. I couldn't prevent the cats coming in and tearing everything into pieces.
One little thing, you had the greatest intentions of all, and that is the main thing. Well, and this time I needn't sit here and be all dull about it, and you needn't train your dear hands and pretty eyes making ornaments for all those
Oh,
Christmas.
yes, I need it any longer.
Yes.
So I wanted to feel lovely today, you think so?
Yes.
So, Total, I want to know, I want to attend in Christmas. So as soon as the Christmas is...
Excuse me, ma'am. A lady to see you, a stranger.
Ask her to come in.
And the doctor came in at the same time, sir.
Did you go straight into my room?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
do, Nora?
How do you do?
You don't recognize me, I suppose.
Kristen! Is it really you?
Yes, it is I, Nora.
Kristen! And to think of me of not recognizing you, how do you answer, Kristen?
Yes, it is in 10 long years, Nora.
It has been so long since you met Kristen. Well, I can tell you that the last 8 years have been a fantastic time for me. To have taken this long journey, that must be very lucky of you.
Yes, I read by steamer this morning, Nora.
To have some fun at Christmas, of course, we'll have so much fun together. You're not cold? I hope come, let's sit at the rocking chair. There, Kristen. And I'll sit here at the armchair. Now you look like your old self again, but perhaps a little thinner.
And much, much older, Nora.
No, very, very little, but certainly not much. Oh, what a horrid creature I am, chattering away like this, Kristen. Please, do forgive me.
What do you mean, Nora?
You're a widow.
Yes. It is 3 years ago now, Nora.
Yes, I so went often to write you, Kristen, but something always prevented me.
Ah, Nora, I quite understand.
No, I do understand. So tell me, he left you nothing?
No.
No children?
No.
Nothing at all?
Not
left?
even any sort of grief to talk of, Nora.
Oh, Christina, you're dreadfully sad. And you look so tired right now, Christine. Well, you see, I have 3 lovely children, but you can't take them now for they're out with their nurse, but you must tell me all about it.
Ah, no, Nora, I must see about you first.
No, I mustn't be selfish today. Today I must only speak of your health, but there's something I would tremendously love to tell you.
What is it, Nora?
Well, my husband has been made the manager of the bar.
What? Your husband? What a good luck, Nora!
Just want to you see, a barrister's profession is such an uncertain thing, especially if he won't take and separate cases naturally. Probably how will you do that? And I quite agree with you. Therapy and money, how pleased we are. He's going to take his position at the bank, and he's going to have a big salary and lots of provision for the future. We're going to live quite differently, and he just doesn't please. I am so excited, Christine. You see, it's so pleasant to have lots and lots of money and for every exactly.
Nora. Haven't you learned sense yet? Back in our school, it used to be very blissful.
That is what Topaz said. No, but it's not as silly as you think. We're both at work.
Ah, you too.
Yes, odds and ends, needlework, crochetwork, embroidery. Oh, so happy to see. Topaz at work with a new money. There's no prospect of promotion there. So I had to look for money anywhere he could. He worked all day and all night, and he couldn't stand it. He felt dreadfully ill, and the doctor said it was time for him to go south.
So, Nora, you spent all your time.
Oh, yes, it was not an easy journey, I can tell you. To tell you what expecting, I was hard, but it was a beautiful journey. For Topaz, though.
Yeah, Nora. I know how fond of your father, and then you left him and just sweetheart.
Oh, yes. Yes, Kristen. But it was a tremendous lots of money.
Yes, and in
It
such...
was 250,000 pounds. That's a lot.
Yes, and in emergencies like that, it is good to have the money with you.
Well, I ought to tell you that you had the money from Papa.
Oh, but Nora, you told me that the time that your papa died.
Oh, yes, Kristen. You see, I couldn't go on nursing. I had my sick daughter to look after. That has been the saddest time I've known ever since my marriage.
Nora, I know found out how you are of your father. Then you left him and went off to Italy.
Oh, yes, you see, we had the money there, and the doctor insisted we are going to start it a month later.
Oh, so your husband came back quite well. And the doctor?
What doctor?
Nora, when I arrived, I made told you that the doctor arrived the same time as I did.
He doesn't come here professionally. He's one of our greatest friends. He comes here at least every day, but my husband has not had an hour's illness until then, and my children, Christina, so help him so much. Oh, how horrid of me, Christine. Oh, you mustn't be angry with me now, Christine. Tell me, is it true that you didn't love your husband, so why did you marry him?
Nora, my mother was alive by then, and was bedridden, and I had young brothers to take care of. So I could not let that man suffer, Nora.
And then?
Nora, I had to put money in my home. First, a small shop, then Leave me, Nora. I'm happy because my poor mom needs me no more, and my younger brothers are now grown and can shift for
Oh,
themselves.
Christine, what a relief when you
I'm leaving Nora. I only feel my life unspeakably empty. Imagine, Nora, being in a position like mine. One must leave me, so one must become selfish. Nora, you can't imagine when you told me all your accounts just as I was delivered to all search my own account. Yes.
Do you mean that Torvald should find you something to do?
Yes, Nora, that's what I was thinking about.
But I will find something very clever that will please him and he will find you something to do.
Oh, thank you, Nora. How kind you are to me for, so little about life.
You ought not to be so superior.
No, come,
You're
Nora.
just like the others who
Nora.
think that I am incapable of doing anything serious, that I have gone through nothing in this world of chaos.
No, Nora, come, Nora.
Well, you look down upon me, Christine, altogether, but you ought not to.
No,
You're
indeed,
proud,
Nora.
aren't you, Christine, having worked so long and so hard for a mother?
Nora, I don't look down upon anyone, and I think I have the right to do what I did.
Well, and you're proud for what you think you did for your
Yes,
mother.
I'm proud of what I did
Well,
because...
I think you have the right to, but I too have something to be proud and glad of.
What is it, Nora?
But no, it's supposed to open what we hear you. No one is supposed to do it except you, Christine. Come, let me tell you. I told you about it. Italy.
Yes, and you told me that the necessary funds... But Nora, you told me that the funds came from a
Now we
papa.
won't give you one thing, but
But...
Papa never gave us a shilling.
But Nora, where could you get all that huge sum of money? Or could you have won it in a lottery?
In the lottery, there will have been no credit in that.
Nora, because you couldn't have borrowed it.
Couldn't I?
You know, Nora, a wife must not borrow without her husband's
Well,
consent.
it is a wife who was a head for business and a wife was a wit with a little bit clever.
Nora, I don't being a little bit imprudent.
Is it imprudent to save the husband?
Yes,
life?
according to me, Nora, it is imprudent
Well,
to
it
get
was
without her husband's knowledge.
It was absolutely necessary, Christine. You should have no idea the condition that he was in. It was I, the doctor, saying his life was in danger. And the only way to save him was to go some. Don't you suppose I didn't try? First of all, to get what I wanted as if it was for myself. I did tell him that I wanted to go abroad like any other young wife. I bet I tears and entries. I even hinted that we might get along, but that almost got him so angry. He told me that I was thoughtless and that his duty as my husband was not to indulge in whips and caprices, as I believe he called them. Very well inside, by the way. The difficulty.
But my dear Nora, you're supposed to tell me that the necessary funds don't come from her papa.
Oh, and how can you take that? You see, a man with such strong views and opinion about something, and besides, how humiliating it is to come and think that he owes me anything. It will destroy our mutual relationship altogether. Our beautiful home will no longer be what it is now.
And you're supposed to tell the secret to your husband.
On someday, perhaps, when I'm no longer don't laugh, of course, when I'm no longer good looking as I am,
Nora.
when my dressing and society has all faded on him, then sometimes it would be a good thing to have something in the bag. What nonsense. Well, Christine, what do you think about your secret? Do you think I'm still observing it now? And I can tell you that this business has brought me a great deal of good. There's something in business we call quarterly interest and that our calls payment in installments has been so difficult to manage. I've been able to pay a little here, little there, but it has not been enough to save. You see, I cannot concentrate from the housekeeping table for Torvald must have a good table and I can't let my children be shabbily dressed. I was obliged to use all the money for my sweet little darling.
Oh, my poor kind Nora. So you told her to come from a necessity.
I was the one responsible for it, so when Torvald gave me money for clothes and such things, I never spent more than half of it. I bought the cheapest and simplest things. But thank heavens, all clothes look well on me, and so Torvald never noticed it, but it has been so difficult on me because it's so very well to be lightly dressed, isn't it?
Yes, quite so.
So last winter I was very lucky to get some cooking to do. I loved myself until quite late at night, Christine. Many at a times I was tremendously tired. But at the same time, it was a tremendous pleasure. Sitting there and working, it was like being a man.
Oh, but my poor kind Nora.
I can't tell you how much I've been
How
able
much have you been able to pay in this way?
Such businesses are so difficult to keep account of. I know that I've paid every penny I could scrap. Then I used to imagine that an older gentleman had fallen in love with me.
Nora,
Christine, that he died, and when his will was opened, it was written in lovely ink that to the lovely Miss Nora and all I given to her all at once.
but Nora, who is this man?
Sir, you do not understand. There's no older gentleman at all. It's something I used to sit when I couldn't think of when I was carrying money, but now I don't care about him and his will for now.
You are a manipulator, Nora.
Christine, I am free from care. I am free from care to be able to roam in my house and play with my children, decorate the house just as Toba like it. And soon the spring will come, and I shall see the blue sky and we shall take a trip.
Nora, that's the bell. Perhaps I should leave.
No, Christine. Don't go. It is sure to be trouble.
Excuse me, ma'am. There's a gentleman to see the master.
Who is it?
And as for the doctor, is with him.
Who is it?
It is I, Mrs. Helmer.
What do you want?
I have a small horse in the back. I hear that your husband is going to be our new chief now.
Then it is.
Nothing but dry business matters.
Be so good as to go into the study then.
Nora, who was that man?
A lawyer by the name of Croxton.
Then really it was him.
Do you know the man?
Yes, he once worked as a solicitor's clerk in our
Oh,
town.
yes, he was.
Has really altered Nora.
With several children.
And he's a widower, right?
He made a very unhappy man.
And that's many business too.
Well, I don't know if we did, but let us not talk about business. It is very tiresome.
No, my dear fellow. Of course not. I won't disturb you. I'd rather go into your wife for a little while. I beg your pardon. I'm afraid I'm disturbing you too.
No, Dr. Ram. In. Let me introduce you. Dr. Ram, Miss Lynn.
Oh, Mrs. Lind. Well, I've often heard of Mrs. Lind's name mentioned here before. Well, I think a person this has been right.
Yes, I can manage the sales very well.
There's some slight internal witness.
No, it's just that happened over one.
Nothing more than that. There's a husband come to town and amuse yourself with our entertainments.
I know, I went to look for job.
Well, is that a good cure for one?
No, Dr. Ram, one must leave.
Yes, no. Certainly no. But your opinion seems to be that it is necessary.
Oh, you really want me to be
Yes, certainly. However wretched I may feel, I'd like to prolong my agony as much as possible. All my patients are like that. It's all those who are disease. One of them had a bad case at this very moment in health.
What do you mean?
All of the name is Croxton. Well, that's a fellow we really don't know of. He's supposed to have his character. If we began talking of, it's highly important that we should leave.
What does he want to speak to my husband
I
about?
have no idea. I only know it's something to do with the bank.
Who is this? Croxton. He has anything to do with the bank?
I heard he has some sort of appointment there. Mrs. Lake, please have a seat. Well, I really don't know if you find in your part of the world where there are these people who go zealously sniffing of moral corruptions. And when they happen to find the person concerned, they put the person in some lucrative position where they can find them. Yet the nations are left out in the cold.
According to me, Dr. Rank, it is the sick who should be given much attention.
There you are. That is a sentiment that is turning the society into a sick house. And why do you laugh at that? Have you any notion of what the society really is?
What do I care about a tiresome society? I'm laughing at something extremely unstable. Tell Dr. Ram, is everyone that is a poet and a
Macarons? I thought you were forbidden here.
That is something Christine gave
No,
me.
that's not right.
Don't be alarmed. Of course, you wouldn't have known that they are forbidden here, but I always get my way. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Yes.
Well, you should have one. Just one. And you go to Christine. And they shall have one, or maybe two.
Oh.
But there's something I would tremendously love to say.
Well, what is it?
Well, it's something I would tremendously love to say. Trovel, what you hear me?
Robert will hear you? Oh, well, I should not advise you to say it, but yes, Mrs. Lynn, was still with us, you can still say it. Now, what did you want to say if Robert could hear you?
No, I daren't. It's shocking.
Oh, Nora! Say Nora!
I'm done.
Nora, you are! Say Nora! Say Nora! Say Nora! Say Nora! Nora! Say Nora! Say Nora! Say Nora! Say Nora!
Trovel, did you get rid of him?
Yes, just go.
Well, let me introduce you. This is Christine Dia, Christine Lynn.
Christine, I'm afraid I don't know.
Well, she has just come into town.
Yes, Christine. Yes, a school friend of my wife will be you. Oh.
Well, Christine is very clever at bookkeeping and she's tremendously anxious to work under such a clever one as you are.
That is very sensible.
And when it was telegraphed to her that you had been made the manager of the bank, well, she came here as fast as possible. You will then find her something to do for my sector, wouldn't you?
Yes, it is not altogether impossible. Mrs. Lynn,
Yes.
I presume you're a widow
Yes.
and have had some experience of bookkeeping. And it's not altogether impossible. We have something for Mrs. Lynn. Yes. But today, you must excuse me.
Oh, wait a minute, my dear fellow. You
Yes.
must excuse me too. I will come with you.
Okay.
Oh,
We may leave.
Yes.
Yes, Doctor.
Oh.
Yes, we may leave.
I'll leave to Nora.
You too, Christine? Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry that the short space here. You see, it's quite impossible for us.
Oh, well, we will walk down the street together, Mrs. Lynn. We may leave, huh? The place will be bearable for a mother now, okay?
Don't let me stand here in the crowd.
Let us go.
I will come with you after.
Okay, we're going to play them. Which one? Pick, hide and seek.
Excuse me, Mrs. Salma.
What do you want?
Well, excuse me. The outer door was ajar. I suppose someone forgot.
My husband is out, Mr. Foxton.
Oh, I know.
What do you want then?
I want with you.
Please.
Yes.
Children, what is time for the Canada?
I do.
But it's not the first of the month.
I know. Today is Christmas Eve, and if you depend on yourself, what sort of a Christmas you will spend?
What do you mean?
Well,
It is quite impossible for me.
look, we'll talk about that until later on. Today I have something different. I presume that you can give me a moment.
Yes.
Good. Today I was in Osan's restaurant and saw your husband going down the streets
Yes?
with a lady.
It was?
May I make so bold as to ask if it was a Mrs. Lind just arrived in town? Oh, she is a great friend of yours, isn't she?
Yes, she is, but I don't see.
I knew her to once upon a time.
I am aware of that.
So you know. I thought as much. Then I can ask without beating about the bush. Is Mrs. Lind to have an appointment in the bank?
Who are you to question me, Mr. Proctor? You're one of my husband's subordinates, but since you asked me to know, yes, Christine is to have an appointment at the bank, it was I who pleaded for cause. Let me tell you that.
I was right in what I thought.
Yes, one has a tiny bit of influence, I should hope. For one is a woman doesn't necessarily follow that. So when one is in a subordinate position, Mr. Proctor, they should be very careful not to appoint anyone who has.
Who has influence? Mrs. Kelly, you've been so good as to see that I'm allowed to keep my subordinate position in the bank.
What do you think?
You'll be so kind as to see that I'm allowed to keep my subordinate position.
Who dares take your post away from me?
There is no need to keep up the pretense of ignorance. I can quite understand that your friend is not very anxious to expose herself to the chance of rubbing shoulders with me, and I can quite understand too whom I have to thank for being turned off.
I can assure you, Mr. Potter.
Very likely. But to come back to the matter in hand, a time has come when I should advise you to use your influence to prevent that.
But Mr. Coxon, I have no influence.
What you have just stated right now,
Well, naturally, I do not mean that you put a construction on it. What even makes you think that I have that kind of influence on my husband?
I have known your husband from our student days. He's not any more unassailable than
If you just speak slightly of my husband,
You-
you can out of this house.
You are born Mrs.
I am not afraid of you any longer.
Listen.
Soon as the New Year's commission, free from the whole thing.
Listen to me, Mrs. Hellman. I am prepared to fight for my small post in the bank as if I were fighting for my rights.
So it seems.
It's not only for the sake of money, indeed, that Wesley thing with me in the matter. There is another reason. Well, I may as well tell you. My position is this. I dare say, like everybody else, that once, many years ago, I was guilty of an indiscretion.
I had something of that
The matter never came into court. And everyone seemed to be close to me after that. So I took to business as a law. I had to do something. And honestly, I have not been one of the worst. But now, I must cut myself free from all that. Look here. My sons are growing up. And for their sake, I must try and win back as much respect as I can in the town. This post in the bank was like the first step for me. And now, your husband is going to kick me downstairs again into the mud.
But I assure you, Mr. Coxon, it is not in my power to help you at all.
Haven't you? But I have the means to compel you.
Do you mean to tell my husband that I owe you money?
Suppose I want to tell him.
That will be very infamous of you for him to learn about my secret that has been my great joy and pride. That he will learn it in such an ugly and clumsy way from you. That will put me in a very disagreeable position.
Only disagreeable? Only disagreeable?
Well, do it then. My husband shall see what a blackguard you are, and you shall not promote them.
I asked you if it was only a disagreeable sin at home that you are afraid of.
Should not say, owe you money to pay what is owing, and we shall have nothing to do with you.
Listen to me, Mrs. Kelly. Listen to me. Either you have a very bad memory or you know very little of business. I shall be able to remind you of a few details. Look here. When your husband was ill, you came to me to borrow 250 pounds, right?
I had no one else to do
I promise to get you that amount. I promise to get you that amount on certain conditions. Look, your mind was so taken up with your husband's illness, and you are so anxious to get the money for your journey that you took no attention to the conditions of our bargain. Therefore, it will not be amiss if I remind you of them. I promise to get you that amount on the security of a bond which I drew
And
up.
which I signed.
Below your signature, there are a few lines constituting your father as your fatherland. Those lines your father should have signed.
Surely he did sign them.
I had left the date blank. That is to say, your father should himself have inserted the date on which he signed the paper. Do you remember that?
Yes, I did.
And then I gave you the bond to sign by post to your father. Is that not so?
Yes.
And you naturally did so because 5 or 6 days afterwards, you brought me the bond with your father's signature. And then I gave you the money.
Well, haven't I been paying it off regularly?
Fairly so, yes. Fairly so, yes. But to come back to the matter in hand, that must have been a very trying time for you, Mrs. Helmer.
Yes, it was.
Your father was very ill, wasn't he?
Yes.
And died soon afterwards.
Yes.
Now tell me. I'll tell you. Can you, by any chance, remember what day your father died? On what day of the month are we in?
Papa died on the 29th of September.
Good. Good. That is correct. I have ascertained it for myself. And as that is so, there is a discrepancy which I cannot account for.
What discrepancy?
The discrepancy consists, Mrs. Helmer, in the fact that your father signed this bond 3 days after his death.
I do not understand.
Look here. Your father died on the 29th of September, right? But look here. Look here. Your father has dated his signature the 2nd of October. Look. It is a remarkable thing too that the words 2nd of October as well as the year are not written in your father's handwriting, but in the one that I think I know. But that can be explained. Maybe your father had forgotten to date his signature, and someone else dated it that before they knew of his death. But there is no harm in that. It all depends on the signature of the name, and that is Jerry, I suppose. Mrs. Helmer, is it your father who signed his name here?
No, it was I who wrote Papa's name.
What? What? Do you know that is a very dangerous confession?
Why you should have your money soon?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. A very simple question. Why did you not send the paper to your
It
father?
was impossible. Papa was ill by then. If I asked him for his signature, he would have asked what the note was for. I would not have told him that my husband's life was in danger.
It would have been better for you if you had given up your trip abroad.
Except my husband's life, I could not have given that up.
And could you by any chance realize that you are committing a fraud on me?
I wouldn't put you into account to put many difficult conditions in my way. Though you knew the dangerous condition that my husband was in.
Listen to me, Mrs. Henry. You evidently do not realize clearly what it is that you have been guilty of. But let me tell you, my one foster, which has lost all my reputation, was nothing more or nothing worse than what you have
Do
done.
you make me to believe that you were so brave enough to put your life down for your wife?
The law cares nothing about motives.
That must be a very big issue.
Foolish or not, it is the law by which you'll be judged if I produce this paper in court.
I can't believe it! Isn't a daughter not allowed to save his dying father and take care? Isn't a wife not allowed to save her husband? I don't know much about law, but there must be law guiding about such things. Don't you have no knowledge about such laws? You
be a very poor lawyer, Mr. Foster.
Maybe. But matters of business, such business as you and I have had together, do you think that I don't understand? But continue whatever you are doing. And let me tell you, if I happen to lose my position a second time, you shall lose yours with me. Goodbye, Mrs. Helen.
But you will not tell anyone the truth, and not even your papa?
Yes.
Okay.
We're not back, mommy. Let's play a game.
No, let us plan another time.
Yes, mommy.
Let's plan another time.
Another time.
Another time.
Yes. Yes.
You would do what is the judge, or maybe will, or maybe won't, or maybe.
Has anyone been here?
Yes. No.
That is strange. I thought the so-called are going out of the gate.
Did you?
Well, I can see from your manner that he has been here telling you to say a good word for him.
Yes.
And you are prepared to do so out of your own accord. You are concealing me that of him having been here. Did he bet that of you too?
But Tom.
No, that would be a part of that sort of thing. To have a conversation with a man like that and then to give me a lie to the bargain?
A lie?
Didn't you just tell me that no one had been here? Huh? Didn't you? There. Yeah.
A little songbird must have a clean bit to chop with, huh? You mustn't do that again, okay? Yes, that's how it shall be, okay?
Yes. How open snug it is here? Quite a lot to do.
Tobal,
Yes.
I am extremely excited for the first festival at the table. Day after tomorrow.
And I'm tremendously curious to see what you are going to surprise me.
It's so silly of me to think that.
Does my little Nora acknowledge that at last?
You see, I can't hint upon everything. Everything seems so silly and insignificant.
So my own silly person is obliged to get someone to come to her rescue.
Tobal, are you busy?
Yes. As you see, I've just been from the bank.
What are those papers?
Yes, you see, bank business. I've got authority from the retiring manager to make necessary changes in the staff and the arrangement of the work. And I must make use of the Christmas time so as to be done by the New Year's Eve.
Well,
Yes.
Tobal,
Yes.
if you hadn't been very busy, I would have asked you for a tremendously big favor.
Well,
No one has such great taste as your Tobal. And you see, I really want to look so nice at the fancy dress ball. And I want to look sweet and I want you to tell me what to go out and what to wear.
well, don't worry. We shall manage to hit upon something, okay?
Oh yes, I can't do anything without you.
Yes.
Tobal,
Yes?
is it something bad that this fox that was accused of?
Yes, if wants someone's name, have you any idea what that means?
Don't you think it was driven by necessity?
Yes, so there are so many cases by imprudence. But I'm not so heartless to altogether to condemn a man because of one false step.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, you see, many a man has been able to retrieve his character if he has confessed and taken his punishment. But Crotza did nothing of that sort. He got himself out in a panic and that's why I say he has gone down to jail.
Are you sure of that?
Yes, just think how a man like that has to wear a mask. And bring the evil to the paper hair. And how to wear the mask in front of us near the even his own wife and children. And about the children, that's the terrible part of it all.
How?
Because such an atmosphere of light goes with the whole life of a home. And each breath these children take is filled with the germs of evil. Now, you see, I've often seen this on the course of my life as a lawyer. Every person who went to the mother, they had a single mother.
Why do you only say mother?
Because it was commonly to be the mother's siblings. Although naturally, a man family have the same result. Many lawyers are familiar with that. This book said now has been bringing his own wife and children to lies in this village. That's why he has lost one of the hands. And that is why my ignorance must not be this once again. Now, give me one of these. Yes. Now, and you must promise me that you can't be on this side. And now I must try and read through these letters and think about your dress. And it is quite possible that we have something wrapped in gold paper to have nothing Christmas.
So hot in here. I can't poison my children. No, it must be it is quite possible. Or is it? Or maybe it is. Oh. It is quite.
Ma'am, the little ones are trying so hard to be allowed.
No, please keep them inside.
Well, ma'am, at last I found the box with the fancy dress.
Put it on the table.
But it's very much in want of
I
many.
would like to tear it into 1,000 pieces.
What an idea!
I
It
will
will
go.
just be in order, just a little patient.
I will go out, and Christine will help you to put it together.
What? Out again? In this horrible weather? You will catch cold and make yourself ill.
Something worse will happen. How are the children?
The little sons are playing with their Christmas present.
Do they ask of me much?
You see, they are much accustomed to be with their mama.
Do you think that they will be accustomed to me when I go away altogether?
Away, all together.
Tell me now, there's something I've always wanted to ask you. How were you able to put your child among strangers?
I was obliged to, if I wanted to be the little Nora.
No, I'm asking how were you willing to do it? What Christmas? Well, you see, from being a very good mother to an aunt, and to see when my children require a mother, but what nonsense! Of course. Tomorrow you shall see me in my dress, and you shall see that I shall look quite smart.
Okay, ma'am.
Nora, I heard you are asking for me.
Christine, yes, are you alone?
Yes.
Come on, sit down. You see, Christine?
Yes.
This is the dress that Towel made for me. You see, I am going to the fancy dress balls at the steady box, the one who live above us. And you see, I don't know what to do with it.
Oh, so Nora, I see you're going to keep on with the character.
Oh yes, Towel wants me to go as a Neptunian dancer and an antenna in
Nora, I'll easily put it right. It's just I'll easily put it right. It's just some tree that I've come and seen. You can see.
That will be very nice
Yes.
of you.
A needle, a thread. Yes, that's all I need, Nora. And by the way, Nora, I almost forgot. Is Dr. Ram depressed as well yesterday?
Well, Christine, I can tell you that yesterday was very noticeable. You see, Dr. Ram had been with some sort of fight. You see, his father was a horrible man. He made many excesses when he was young. So Dr. Ram was sickly from childhood.
How about my dear Nora? How could you know anything of such things?
You see, when you have three children, and you have visitors coming in here every single day, you have with
And is he a man who can make himself agreeable?
Why would you think that?
You know, Nora, yesterday when you introduced me to Dr. Ram, he said that he had often had my name being mentioned in this house. But when it came to your husband, he slightly knew about me. How could Dr. Ram?
That is very true, Christine, but I can tell you, Chobal is very jealous and he only wants me for himself. So when I used to tell him about the folk at home, he used to be very jealous. So I stopped doing so, but Dr. Ram enjoys such stories.
Really? Nora, have a good look at me. You are like a child in many things, Nora. Do I look like a child to you? You know, Nora, I'm older than you, and so I know many things than you do. You ought to put an end of it with Dr. Ram. Of two things, Nora. Yesterday you were speaking of an Admiral who used to live with some money.
Who unfortunately does not exist.
Nora, does Dr. Ram come every day?
Yes.
And is he a man of means?
Yes, he
And
is.
has not to provide for?
Yes.
But Nora, how could this well-bred man be so tactless?
What do you mean?
Nora, you know, I see you ought to put an end of it with Dr. Ram.
Christine, do you mean?
Stop prevaricating it, Nora.
Christine, I would have not have borrowed him money. That would have put him in a very horrible position.
Such you think is he.
No, it is not him. Well, I could not have thought to ask Dr. Ram for the money. And by besides, he didn't have money then. He came with his money afterwards.
Yes, yeah, you are not right?
Well, I have to make an end with one of them. But it will be behind the other one's back.
Yes, Nora, that's what I was trying to tell you just
Well, a
now.
man can put something straight like that much more easier than a woman.
Nora, something has not been good with you since yesterday morning.
Christine, tell me something. If I pay my debt, do I get my gun back?
Yes, quite so.
And you can tear that dirty little paper into thousands of pieces.
Why, Nora? Nora, are you concealing something from me?
Do I look as if I were?
Yes, something has not been good with you since yesterday.
Well, Christine, you see, Tobal is about to come and he cannot dare see this making going on. Go in with us.
Nora, I love to go, but I have to make it with you.
Yes.
Just make.
No, it was Christine. She was helping me to put my back together.
Wasn't that a happy thought of mine?
Don't you think it is a nice thing of me to do as a wish?
Nice. You do as your husband wishes. Well, I can forgive you for you do not know what you're saying. You'll be wanting to try on your dress, I expect.
Are you going to work?
You know quite well I'm not going to work today. Just look at that. I've just finished the bar.
But Tobal,
Yes?
if your Skylar would ask you for something very quickly, would you do it?
I should like to know what it is first.
Well, your Skylar will dance and perform all her tricks if you will be so kind to do as she asks.
Well, my little Nora does that
I
anyhow.
will tap in every room with my voice rising and falling. Would you do it?
Nora, you do not mean that you're going to make to me this.
Yes, and that's why I'm
Nora, you still have the courage to open it up again.
Crockston must be disposed at the back.
Well, I can as well tell you that it is his fault that I've arranged Mrs. Liddell.
And you have been awfully kind about that, Tobal. But can't you dismiss another clerk instead of Crockston?
This is simply dreadful obscenity. Just because you gave that man a promise for me that you're going to speak for him, I'm expected to change my mind because of all
It
that.
is not for that reason, Tobal. It is for us. And you told me that this man is a scrapper's writer. And you don't know what he can do. And I am afraid of that. Okay.
No, I understand. Eh? It is the recollections of the past that scare you.
What do you mean?
Naturally, you're thinking about your father.
Of course, Tobal. Yes. Remember what they did to Papa and what they wrote about him. And if it wasn't for you to come, you would have procured his position.
Well, Nora, there's a big difference between your father and I. Your father's reputation as a public official was not on suspicion, mine is. And I'd like you to continue like that for the longest time in the whole I closed in the
We
back.
can't know what this man can contrive, Tobal. We ought to be so snug and happy near you, me and the
And it is just my destiny for him that it makes it difficult for me to have Thompson in the bank. It is very well known at the bank that I'm to dismiss Thompson. Is it to go about now that the new manager in town has changed his mind, which is why he's speaking? Of course. If only this obstinate
obstinate person could have her way. But seriously, Nora, do you think I'm going to make myself look ridiculous in front of my own self? Then to be saying that the new manager town is to be swayed by outside influence? No! I might as well feel the consequences, I can tell you. And there's one thing that makes it difficult for me to have closer in the bank as long as I'm managed.
Whatever is that?
It's moral feelings. I might as well overlook it necessary. You see, I knew him when we were both. He is a good worker. It was one of those such friendships that so often proved that he was in outside. But this man who lays with no receipt, and he thinks that he lives in the audacity to talk about me at all with me. And every time it is, I say that my old fellow, and that little thing. You'll soon have my position in the bank in Tulip.
Well, I do not believe them.
So why don't you?
I think it's a very narrow-minded of looking at it.
Narrow-minded. Me? Narrow-minded. No, I don't think that my point of view is narrow-minded. It is the same thing you're saying that my point of view is narrow-minded, isn't it? Yes, I'll show you right now. Helen!
Yes, sir.
Come here at once.
What are you doing?
Settle it. Helen!
Yes, sir.
Come here at once. Here, take this letter. Go downstairs and find a messenger. The address is on it. Move, go now. Hurry up! Process dismissed.
Tell her to come back, woman. Tell her to come back. For our children and the family, tell her to come back. It's too late.
Yes, it's too late.
Yes, it's too late.
Nora, I can forgive the anxiety you're in, although really it's an insult to me. Yes, it's an insult to think that I should be afraid of a stabbing cool Java's vengeance. But I forgive you nevertheless. Because I understand it is a eloquent witness of your great love for me. There. Yes. Report is to that half work, marriage and bondage whenever it is needed. And I mean everything I say.
What do you mean by that?
Everything I say. But no, listen. We are going to share it as husband and wife should, Nora. Yes, no, not these frightened dark eyes. Calm. Have no anxiety. Yes, there. Have no anxiety, for I will provide conscience whenever it is needed, okay? Yes, and now you can practice your tarantella and play with the tambourine. You can make as much noise as you want. You can make as much noise as you want. And when drunk comes in, tell you where you will find me.
Mrs. Alma.
Well, Dr. Alka had your ring. You mustn't go in with Tobal. He's sure to be very busy.
Well, and you?
Well, I always have time for you.
Well, then I shall make you so much much as I can.
What do you mean as much for me as you can? Such a straight way of putting it is something like a problem.
Well, it is all up with me and it can't be helped.
Now tell me, what have you found out?
Nothing but water so long will be bad for
Oh,
butter.
it is about yourself.
Yes. It is of no use lying to oneself. You know, I am the most wretched of all my patients, and lately I've been taking stocks of my internal economy. Maybe, probably within a month's time, I shall lie rotting in a church.
That is such an ugly thing to say, Dr.
The
Alka.
thing is that it's ugly. And the worst of it is that I shall have to face all that is ugly. Mrs. Alma, do you know how much refined nature gives him an uncomfortable distance of everything that is ugly out having in my secret?
Oh, but Dr.
Out having there not on any account to bar my door to him. Once I'm quite certain that the worst has come, I shall send you my card with a black rose on it. When you find it, that's when you know that it's awesome and
No, Dr. Alka, how I wanted you to be in a good humor.
but just don't beside me. You have to pay this penalty for another man's sin. Is there any justice in that in every single family in one or another such inexorable execution is being exacted?
Rubbish, you speak of something cheerful.
Well, it's a mere laughing matter, they hold me. My poor innocent mind has to suffer from my father's youthful abuse.
Boy said yesterday, don't you?
Yes, it truffles.
Truffles and oysters.
Oysters, of course, that goes without saying.
And furs of champagne.
Especially,
Such a shame that some good things should take advantage of our good.
especially, they should revenge themselves had the satisfaction of enjoying them.
But the saddest part of it all. Why do you smile?
Did you that love, Nora?
I'm in a silly mood today.
You're a greater rascal than I thought.
But that mustn't take you away from me and Topal.
I mean, it is a law to come.
Do you believe that?
I mean, those who are gone have forgotten. People from beyond
Who
time.
will come time?
What do you want, Helma? You are already on the high road. Why, Mrs. Lee? What did Mrs. Lee know until last night?
Oh, Dr. You don't mean that you are jealous of what we did?
Yes, she'll be my successor in this house and I'm down for.
Who's
Yes,
She's in the next room.
today again?
She has come to see my club, Dr. How unreasonable you are. But bless my soul, sir, tomorrow you shall see how I shall look. And you shall imagine that I'm dancing for you.
Wow.
And trouble too, of course. Now, let me show you something. No.
What is it?
Look at this. Look at this.
Six months?
Flesh color. No, it is very dark in here, but tomorrow you shall only look, and you shall only look at the feet. Why do you look so critical? Do you think it won't fit me?
Nora, when I'm sitting down here talking as intimately as I am, I can never imagine what would have become of me if I never came into
Oh,
this
I know
house.
you feel quite at home here.
And you're obliged to leave it on?
No, you're not going to leave it, Dr.
And to be able to leave behind one's life is something of one's strategy. Scarcely even a fleeting privilege. Nothing but for some of the fail as well as...
Dr. Raj, if I could ask you for something a tremendously big favor. A big proof of your friendship.
Yes.
But I've not told you what it is yet.
Nora, you really make me happy once.
No, Dr. Raj, you see, it's something out of reason. I mean, a big favor.
Nora, the bigger things are always the better. No good sense, Nora. We'll try your confidence.
Oh, yes, Dr. You see, you are my best friend, okay, and I will tell you. So there's something I want you to help me prevent. You see, Thomas loves me unconditionally, and he will not hesitate to put his life down for me.
Well, do you think he's on? No one will gladly give his life for your sake.
Is that it?
Determined that you'll know before I went away that I'll never have any better chance than this. You know that you can as well trust me as well as anyone else.
Let me pass.
Nora!
Helen! Yes, bring in the lamp. That was very kind of you, Dr. Ram.
Well, Nora, so I've loved as much as I would. Was that horrid?
No, tell me about it. There was no need.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Nora, Miss Helma? Do you any of this?
How could I know whether I had or I hadn't any idea? How proud you are, Dr. Ram, and how we were going on so nicely.
Well, at all events, you know that you are to command me, body and soul. So, it is me.
So what happened?
Then I beg you to let me know what it is.
No, Dr. Ram.
You mustn't punish me that way. Let me have permission to do whatever a man may do.
Don't you feel ashamed now that the lamp has come?
Nora. Please. You mustn't punish me that way. Let me have permission to do whatever a man may do.
Well, there's nothing you can help with me, Dr. Ram. You will find that it was just a fancy thing on my part. Something just fancy. You can't help me, Dr. Ram.
Well, not a bit, but perhaps I'd better go forever.
No, Dr. Ram, you mustn't go. You must always come and listen before Thomas cannot do a bit without you.
Yes, but you?
Well, I'm always pleased when you come.
Yeah, well, then, Nora.
Oh, Dr. Ram, you just have to understand that there are those who one loves best and those whom we would rather have as companions.
Nora.
You see, when I was living with Papa, of course, I loved Papa. Good conversations and we were never oppressed.
Oh, well, there's something in that.
Oh, yes. But you must understand that being with Toban is slightly like being with Papa.
If you please, Mom.
Is anything wrong?
No. It's my new dress.
Why is it?
It's my new dress.
Was that the great secret?
Yes, doctor.
Ah.
Now you must go in with Toban.
Uh-huh.
You must go in Toban and make him and keep him there in his office.
Okay, make your mind easy. I won't let him escape. Goodbye, Nora. Goodbye. Goodbye, Nora. Nora, goodbye. Goodbye, Nora. Nora, goodbye.
He has come up to the kitchen.
Yes, he came out the back.
Did you not tell him that no one was in the house?
No, but it was of no use.
Okay, let him in. But do it very carefully. It is a surprise for my husband. Do you understand?
Yes, quite well, Mom.
No matter about that.
Speak low. My husband is in the house.
I know.
What do you want then?
I suppose that I have got my dismissal.
Oh yes, Mr. Thompson. I tried so much to be on your side, but it was of no use.
I didn't suppose so at all. It would not be the least like our dear Torah grandma to show so much courage.
Do you think that it was anything of that sort?
Certainly all the respect it deserves. But since you have kept the matter so carefully to yourself, I may go to suppose that you have a little clearer idea than you had yesterday of what it actually is that you have done.
More than you can eat.
Such a bad boy as I am.
What do you want of me?
I will tell you. I only came to see how you are. I have been thinking about you all day long. A mere cashier, a quill driver. A man like me, even he has a little of what is called feeling.
Then show it to my children.
Have you and your husband thought of mine? But never mind about that. I only came to tell you that you need not take this matter too seriously. In the first place, there will be no accusation made on my side.
No, of course not.
The whole thing can be arranged amicably. There is no reason why anyone should know anything about it. It will remain a secret between us three.
My husband shouldn't want to know anything about it.
Wow. How will you be able to prevent that? Am I to understand that you can pay the balance that is owing?
Not with the present.
Or perhaps you have some expedient for raising the money soon?
No, but it's vision that I need to make use of.
Very well then. It will be of no use to you now. If you stood there with ever so much money in your hand, I will never part with your bone.
What purpose do you want to put it to?
I shall only preserve it, keep it in my possession, so that if the thought of it has driven you to any desperate resolution,
Yes, it can.
if you have it in your mind to run away from your home,
How would you want
or even do something worse,
How would you not
give up the idea.
How could you know that?
Some of us have had to think about that. I did too, but I hadn't the courage.
Yes, I haven't.
No. That is it, isn't it? You hadn't the courage either.
I hadn't.
Besides, it would have been a great piece of folly once the first storm at home is over. I have a letter for your husband in my pocket.
Telling him everything.
In as lenient a manner as I possibly could.
Tear it into tiny pieces. I will find your money, Coxon. Tear it into tiny pieces. Into very...
Look here. I will not need any coin from your husband.
Mr. Coxon, I will not tell you about the money that I owe you. The money that you asked me to have from the house.
I don't accept any coin from
Then
you.
what do you want?
I will tell you. Listen to me. I want to rehabilitate myself. I want to get home. And in that your husband must help me. For the last year and a half, I have not had a hand in anything dishonorable. Amid all that time, I've been struggling with most restricted circumstances. But now, I'm not going to allow myself to be taken into favor again. I want to get home. I want to get into the bank again. And that your husband must make a place for me.
That he shall never.
He will. He dare not protest. I know him. And as soon as I am in there with him again, within a year, you shall see. It will be Niels Kronstadt and not Torvald Helmer who manages the bank.
That you shall never see.
Do you mean that you will?
Yes, now I have the courage.
You can't frighten me.
You will
Such a
see.
fine, spoiled lady like you.
You will see.
Under the ice perhaps. Down into the cold black water, and then the spring to float up to the surface. All horrible and unrecognizable with your hair falling
You will
out.
not frighten me.
Nor you me. People don't do such things, Mrs. Helmer. Besides, I should have him completely in my power.
Afterwards, when I am no longer.
Look here. I have the keeping of your reputation, remember. I have the keeping of your reputation, remember. When Helmer has had my letter, tell him, I expect a message from him. And don't forget that it is your husband himself. It is your husband himself who has forced me into such ways as this again. And I will never forgive him for this. Goodbye, Mrs. Helmer.
Look at the letterbox. Do you see that letter?
Yes, I can see.
It's from Mr. Crooks.
What? Nora, since Crooks are into the money.
Yes, he was.
But believe me, Nora, this will be the best for both of you.
Oh, I didn't tell you everything. I forged the name.
Good heavens, Nora!
Kristen, you must be a witness.
The witness. What's the name to you, Nora?
You must be a witness.
No.
If something happens to me, that I should go to my window.
Nora, you're not to the senses.
But if something happens to me, that I should not be here.
Nora, you're not to the senses, Nora.
Listen, it is not true. I am not out of my mind. I was the one responsible for each Christmas.
Okay, Nora, I'll help you, but I don't understand it at all.
There's no need you should understand.
Okay, Nora, tell me. I'll go and see Krogstad at once. Where does he live?
Yes, I have his card.
Nora?
Who is that?
Oh, do not be so frightened. We are not coming in. Are you trying on your dress?
Yes. He lives in the corner.
Oh, so I see lives down there. I'll go and see at once, Nora. And does that come with the key?
Yes, always.
Okay, Nora, listen to me. What you do is this. You'll have to go into your other village for a while, right? I'll be back. I'll go and see Krogstad, right?
Well, Dr. Nutt.
Oh, my God, hello.
May I now venture to come into my own home? Now, come along, Dr. Nutt. Now you will see what I transformation.
Oh, well, my dear fellow, I understood so, but evidently I was mistaken.
Well, no one will be able to admire my dress until tomorrow.
But Nora, you look both worn out and tired. Have you been practicing too
I've
much?
been practicing so much.
But you will need to.
Yes. And you will be there to practice with me, Topal.
Yes, I promise that this evening I'll be wholly and absolutely at your service.
And you will devote yourself unto me. You shall not even hold a penny promise.
Okay, but first we must go and check.
What are you doing?
Going to see when letters
But
have come.
no, you said that you will devote yourself entirely to me. And you know that I'm tremendously anxious for the fancy dance ball. And you know that I can't do anything without you. And you know that I need you. And I need you to teach me. And I need you to be here. And you shall not touch a pen. And I need you everything. And I you must see.
No.
You must not do anything, Topper.
Nora, are you really afraid of me?
Oh, yes.
Let me play for you. Yes, you may go now. Nora, wait! Nora, not so violently! Nora, not so violently! Nora, you're acting as if the whole life depended on it!
Yes, it is.
Look, stop it! Stop it! Stop it, I tell you! I couldn't believe it, you've forgotten! Yes, you made it.
Oh, well, where do I start? Well, it's a contradiction.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes. Now you may start.
Oh, well.
Let's go, Dr. Lal. No! Nora, you're not even doing it right. Nora, what is this? Nora, this is not even the way. You really have forgotten everything. No. Stop it, Dr. Lal. Stop it. I said stop it. This is sheer madness. You've forgotten everything that they taught you. You'll need a lot of coaching. Yes. And I'll use this evening to coach you, okay? Yes. Now, where is this name?
Nora. Helen! Dinner served, Mom. Oh, yes. We shall have champagne. Okay, Mom. And a few macaroons. Right, Mom? Just for today.
Okay. Well, hello. Are we going to have a banquet?
Oh, champagne.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to put my hair down and Kristen will help me.
Okay. We're going to the inner office, okay? Well, Dr. Lal.
Well, my dear fellow.
Yes. Come along.
Shall we go?
Yes, we may.
Champagne?
Yes.
Oh, my God, tremendous.
But don't worry, it is nothing but that childish nervousness I was telling you about.
Oh, well, true.
Yes. Yes, I'm very good.
Well, he's out of town. But don't worry, Nora, I don't find a note.
Well, you shouldn't have. Leave it alone. I shall not tell my husband about it. I know what I shall do with this.
What will you do, Nora?
You cannot understand it. Go in.
Yes?
Yes, Skylar.
Where's my little Skylar?
Here she is.
time is nearly up. If only does not come. What will you do? There he comes.
I found a note from you at home. What does this mean?
It is absolutely necessary that I should have a talk with you.
And is it absolutely necessary that it should be here?
It is impossible where I live because there are no private entrances to my room. Now, come in. The maid is asleep and the Helmers are at a dance upstairs.
The Helmers be at a dance tonight?
Yes, why not?
Certainly, why not?
Now, please. We have a great deal to talk about.
Can we two have anything to talk about?
Yes, Nils, we have a great deal to talk about.
I shouldn't have got so.
Nils, you've never properly understood me.
Was there anything else to understand except what was obvious to all the world? A heartless woman jilts a man when a more lucrative chance turns up.
Nils. You believe that I'm that heartless? And you believe that I did it in the night at Nils? Did you really think that, Nils?
If you knew what you said, what did you write to me as you did at the time?
Nils, I had to break up with you and it was my duty to put an end of what you felt for me.
So that was it. And all this only for the sake of money?
Don't forget that my mother was alive by then and was bedridden. And I had two other mothers to take care of. Nils, your prospects seem to be hopeless by then.
But you had no right to throw me over for anyone else's sake.
Nils, many a times I asked myself if I had the right to do what I did.
Chrissy. When I lost you, it was as if all the solid ground went from under my feet. But look at me now. I'm a shipwrecked man clinging to a bit of wreckage.
Nils, take me near.
It was near, but then you came and stood in my way.
Nils, unintentional. It is only today that I learned that I'm going to a position at the bank.
I believe you if you say so. But now that you know it, aren't you going to give it up to me?
No, I won't. Because it will not benefit you the least.
Oh, benefit. Benefit. I should have done it whether or not.
Nils, I've learned to act through the bitter hard necessity I've taught me that.
And life has taught me not to believe in fine speeches.
Then I think life has taught you something very reasonable that deeds you must believe in.
What do you mean by that?
Nils, you say you're like a shipwrecked man doing something.
Yes, and I mean what I say.
I'm like a shipwrecked woman doing some breaking. No one to work for, no one to care for me.
But it was your own choice.
But I was not choice by then, Nils.
Okay, now what? What now?
Nils, how would it be if 2 pieces of bread
What do you mean?
Nils, it will be good if 2 pieces of breakage will stand a better chance than each of their own. Think about it. What do you suppose brought me to town then?
Do you want to tell me that you gave me a lot?
Nils, I could not enjoy life without work. Nils, have a good look at me. I'm all alone in the world. No one to work for, no one to care for.
I don't trust that. It is nothing but a woman's of a strange sense of generosity that prompts you to make such an offer of yourself.
But Nils,
I'm certain of that. But Christine, are you saying this deliberately? I'm sure you are.
Yes.
I can see it in your face. But do you really have the courage then?
yes, Nils. It seemed to play with me that with me you could be a different man. Nils, as I say, we two need each other. You are children to need some other Nils.
I forgot.
You are the back there. You are the tarantella. You must go.
What?
Nils, you must go.
What?
Nils, we are not safe any moment longer. When this is over, we might expect them back.
You don't know what steps I have done in the matters of the headmaster.
No, Nils, you must leave. You know, your letters laid down in the letterbox.
What? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure, Nils.
So that is it. So that is true. That you want to save your friend at any cost. Is that it? Tell me frankly, is that so?
Nils, you know, a woman was also destined for that should not be the second time.
I must have my letter back.
No, Nils, you cannot. It is laid down in the letterbox.
I will wait here until Helma comes. I must tell him that he must give me the letter back.
Nils, you cannot. It is laid down in the letterbox.
I must tell him that it only concerns my dismissal and that he should not read it.
No, Nils, you cannot. You cannot. You have to leave, Nils.
Wasn't it for the very same purpose that you asked me to come
Nils,
and see here?
you see, in the first moment of fright it was, but in the last 24 hours, you know, I want the Helmers to have a happy marriage, but this cannot go on with this concealment in this house, Nils. No, you have to go, Nils.
Look here.
Yes.
If only you'll take the responsibility. There is one thing that I can do.
What is
and
it?
I shall do it at once.
What is it?
Look here. Do you know all about my past life?
Yes, I know.
And do you know what they think of me here?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Christine. I'll wait for you below.
You'll find me back at my door. You have to leave.
Christine.
Nils, you have to leave.
Look here, Christine.
Nils, you have to leave.
I must tell you that I have never had such an amazing good fortune in my life.
What a difference. I want the Helmers to have a happy marriage. themselves. What should I do? Yes, I must tell them about this secret. How I wish they were here soon.
No, Toba, let me stay for more than
Oh, come along, come along, come along.
Toba!
Oh, that is against our argument. Now, come in. You are catching cold standing out there. No.
Toba!
Hey. You're catching cold standing up, Mrs. Lily. You're here so late.
Yes, good evening. You know, when I arrived, I found out that you're already upstairs having a tarantella, and I could not go without seeing Nora in a new dress.
Just look at her. Isn't she good looking, Mrs. Lily?
Yes, she's so amazing.
Everyone thought so at the dance, but she's terribly simple in this one. You can't imagine the heart to bring her down here by
Well, so first you will resign for not letting me spend more than half an hour.
Just listen to her, Mrs. Linden. She had danced at Rachel and she had made a tremendous success. Although really, the performance was a little dreadful for reality. It was not compatible with the limitations of art. But you think it was going to let her stay there after the success? No, I took my capriciously captivated to the side. I quick turn around the room. I can't see you on either side. And as they say in the novels, the beautiful operation seems to disappear. Oh, it is quite dark in here, and quite for sure. A moment, Mrs.
I had a talk with Nora. You have to tell your husband about this.
You shouldn't have done it.
No, Nora, you have to tell your husband about this.
Well, we shouldn't prevent it a wonder.
You know, because if you don't, then the letter will Nora.
Well, a wonderful thing is going to
What else? What is this, Nora?
Well, there's no need you shouldn't.
Mrs. Lin. Mrs. Lin.
Yes.
Have you admired?
Yes, and she's remarkably pretty.
Oh. Mrs. Lin.
Yes.
Have you admired? You've admired, huh?
Yes, and now I have to say good night.
Mrs. Lin.
Yes.
Are you leaving your knitting?
I think it's in there. I'll go for it because you've reminded me. I almost forgot it.
Okay, fine. You may leave, okay? Yes, I will see you some other time. Yes, goodbye, Mrs. Lin. Goodbye.
But
Hey.
Nora, good night, and don't be selfish anymore.
Good night.
Okay, goodbye.
Good, Nora.
Hey, Mrs. Lin. At last she's gone. She's afraid to go out too much.
Are you sleeping?
Not even sleepy. On the contrary, I feel extraordinary like. You see? Now my little Nora is speaking reasonably. It was right of me not to let you stay there any longer.
Everything you do is wonderful.
Now my little Nora is speaking.
Oh, don't look at me like that.
Why should I look at my precious treasure? I told the beauty that is mine, my very own.
Don't say such things to me tonight.
Listen to that. Can you hear? The guests are beginning to leave. Soon the whole house will be quiet.
I hope so.
Yes. Nora, do you know when I'm out of the party like this with you? Why I speak so little to you and only send a stolen glance here and there. It is because I make believe that you're my secret little spy, that no one suspects it. And then when I'm taking you in to our home to be alone with you for the very first time with you, my fascinating, charming little darling. As I watch this party things of the tarantella, my blood was on fire. I couldn't endure it any longer, and that is why I brought you down.
Well, you know, I thought you had your place and felt like I should come in.
Come in.
Nora. This here familiar rooms. You two are very happy and cozy in here, right?
Yes, and I can see that you look after yourself quite well upstairs, Dr. Ryan.
Why do we want to enjoy everything in this world as much as one can, but everywhere as much as one can do?
Especially the champagne.
So you know that too?
Yes.
Oh, Hassan brought a great deal of champagne now.
Did you?
Yes, and he is in great spirits after all.
Well, why do you want to enjoy a merry evening afterwards?
Well spent, I'm afraid I cannot take any from that.
But they can't, you know.
Well, you must have been occupied with some scientific investigations today.
Just listen. Leave now talking about scientific investigation.
Then when I come back today,
Well, indeed you may. Most favorable for both doctor and patient satisfaction. Absolutely. So what is happening to make a very evening after that? No one can help me in this one, but without paying for it. You know? Alright.
Are you fond of fancy dress clothes?
Fancy dress boy.
What,
If there's a fine lot of people.
what do you think we should wear at the next?
Little feather brain.
Are you thinking of the next already?
Well, let your wife go dresses. She is in everyday life.
Yes, that was very prettily done. But now tell us, Dr. Ryan, what are you going to be in the next?
And the next fancy dress code shall be this. Have you ever heard of a black hat? When one puts it on, nobody can see you.
Oh yes, I have heard of it.
Like this. This. Funny, right? Funny.
Yes, I've heard of it. But now tell us, what are you going to be?
And then, I'm going to be.
Yes.
Okay.
About the heart, yes?
Well,
Now,
I shall be invisible, right?
yes.
I've told you about that.
Yes.
Then,
You will be waiting.
yes, I believe now. No, I'm forgetting what I come for. Can you give me a cigar? One of the dark Havanas?
With great pleasure.
Oh, Laura. Please, some light. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for the light and good night.
Okay. Good night, Dr. Ram. Good night, Dr. Ram.
I didn't say good night to our wife. Good night, Laura.
Good night.
Good night, our wife.
And my wife.
Oh,
Good
hi.
night. Good night, Dr. Ram. Yes.
Good night, my dear
Good
friend.
night, Dr. Ram.
Laura, good night.
He has drunk more than he ought to.
Did he? Well, I did not spend time with him at the party.
Oh yes, just a moment.
What are you doing, Torvald?
I am cleaning the letterbox. You see, there will be no room to put in the newspaper tomorrow morning. What is this? Someone has been at the lock? Nora! Someone has been at the lock. I should have never thought that they made. Nora, look! Here's a broken helmet.
It must be the children!
Then you must get them out of those ways. Helen?
Yes, sir.
Put on the light over the front door.
Very well, sir.
Quickly! Look at that. Wait, 2 cards of Dr. Ram.
What is written on that?
There's a black horse on the name. What an uncomfortable lady. It seems as if he was announcing his own
That
name.
is exactly what he's doing.
Wait, do you know anything about it?
Dr. Ram told me that when those cards came with the black horse, it means that he's going to lock up himself to die.
What man? Suddenly I knew that we will not have him for long. And so he hides himself like a wooden
What
hand.
if it should happen, Torvald? It should go with Dr. Wan, isn't it?
You're so grown into our life.
I cannot think that of him having not been there. He with his sunlit happiness was like a cloudy background, yes. You see, perhaps it is good for him anyway, and for us too. We too are quite thrown upon ourselves. I don't feel as if it was born you tightly enough. Now, you know that sometimes I wish that you attack with some great danger and then I'll risk my left blood to come and see you.
You can't bring a letter, sir.
No, tonight. Later, what to do with my...
We get thought of your friend's death.
Yes, something about that, eh? Yes, now we must read our minds off it. We'll each go into our own rooms, okay? Yes, we shall get our minds off it. Now, good night, okay?
Good night, Thomas.
Yes, good night.
He's going to read the letters. I have to say goodbye to this home and my children.
Nora, do you know what is in this letter?
Let me go!
Where are you going? Huh?
There's no one.
Who is this to what I did?
I have left you with everything else.
Oh, don't let us have any silly excuses, please. Miserable creature, what have you done?
Thomas!
You've ruined all of my future. No, what have you done? Huh? Answer me!
I have left you with everything in this world, Thomas.
What a horrible awakening. All these 8 years, she was not of my joy and pride. A hypocrite, a liar.
William, it shall
Oh,
not.
Sergeant, yes, please. Here you shall tell me the explanation, okay? You understand what it is that you've done? Huh? And they want to opposite that something of the sort might happen. All your fathers want to bring people and come out in you. No religion, no planning, no sense of future. And how I punch all the Christians for today. Do you understand what it is that you've done? Oh, you have destroyed all of my happiness. You have ruined all of my future. I am now in the hands of an unscrupulous man. He can do what he wants of me. He can ask me to do anything. He can give me orders and I dare not refuse. And I have to say to some them because of godless woman. But we must come to some understanding. Take off that shawl. Take off that shawl, I tell you! Now sit! Yes, and the matter must be mathematical. But as for you and I, it shall remain as it was before. But naturally, only in the eyes of the world. And they dare not let you raise the children, who I dare not trust you.
Thomas, my children.
Shut up! And they dare not let you raise them. Oh, how I'm obliged to say this to one whom I love and whom I... No. From now, happiness will no longer be the question. Whatever it is to sell the mates, the fragments, the appearance, everything, all of those. What is that? Can he? So let us this look like. I hide your hand. You are saying you are in.
A letter for the mistress.
Give it to me. I will read it.
Just read it.
Oh, I scarcely have the courage to do it, but still. Oh my God! No, I will read it once more. No! You too, Oscar. Look here. He says this one back. He says that he regrets and regrets and happy child of love. And never mind what he says. Never mind what he says. We are saved, Lord. We are saved. No one can do any harm to you, Lord. No one can do any harm to you. We are now saved, Lord. First, I must destroy this. Yes, there now. The whole thing shall be nothing but a bad dream to me now. You see, he says that since this was time of being, this must have been dreamed and tried.
It was the hardest 3 days of my
And
life.
suffered agonies and found nowhere. No!
you only shouting joy. It is all over. It is all over. No, you don't seem to believe that I'm forgiven everything. I swear I'm forgiven you everything. And the son that what you need, you need also to sit down with me.
Thank you for your forgiveness.
Nora. You think that I'm going to judge the means that you use? No, only. I will advise you and direct you whenever it is needed. I shouldn't be a man with this woman is interested, not just give the double attack with the support of my heart. I promise you, I'll forgive you everything. Yes, everything. But wait, Nora, where are you going?
I'm going to change my dress.
Yes, do. Go and calm yourself. Make your mind easy again. My freaking little cinema. I will bring peace to your poor beating heart. I will save you from the hawk's claws. I will save you like a dove that I've just saved from hawk's claws. I'll bring peace into your poor beating heart. It will come little by little by little. And soon you will see that I've forgiven you. Soon you won't need me to prove to you that I've forgiven you. You will yourself see. Now you don't know what a man's heart is like that she has forgiven his wife. Forgiven her freely. Forgiven her that she has become both wife and child to him, Lord. Have no anxiety, for I right here will support will and conscience whenever it is needed. Yes. That's how we should be. Yes, you allow me and I don't understand you.
Say something, I'm giving up.
You've never understood me, Tobal. And I've never understood you. We have a settling of accounts.
Oh, what do you mean by this?
Doesn't it strike you as strange in us sitting here like this? You and I. We never sat down, Tobal, to discuss about any serious subject.
What do you mean by serious?
You and I, even earlier in our acquaintance, we have never sat down to discuss about any serious matter.
Okay, was it like that I'll continually and forever telling you about
I do not mean about business matters.
But not
We have never sat down for 8 years to get to the bottom of anything.
What good will it have been to you?
Exactly! Tobal, you have never understood me, and I have been wrong. First by Papa, then by you.
We asked for that more than anyone else in this world.
Tobal, it is true that when I lived with Papa, I got his opinions. And even if I had influence, I had to conceal it from him. He played with me as his daughter. And that's exactly what you are doing. Play with me as your doll wife.
Oh, how unreasonable, how ungrateful you are. But tell me not, haven't you been happy here?
Not been happy, Tobal.
Not happy?
Not even very, Tobal. Our home has been like a playroom. You have played with me as your doll wife, just as Papa played with me as his doll child, and I've played with my children as they were dolls.
What sort of an expression is that upon marriage?
It's true. I have arranged this house according to your own taste, and I have acquired the same taste to Tobal. And I look behind and I see that I am a poor woman. I've been feeding from heart to mouth.
exaggerated and strained as your point of view is, but as from now, playtime shall be over, lesson time shall be. Both yours and the children.
You're not the one to teach me to be a proper wife for you.
You can see that.
And you said that I'm not fit to take care of the children.
Oh yes, in a moment to mark about why do you bring me in?
But that task, I cannot take it any longer. There's another task that I must uphold for myself. I must educate myself so that I will not the one to do that for me. And I shall try to find some sense for me.
But can't you find your sense in your own home? Tell me, have you no reliable source in matters as such, or have you no religion?
I have no religion, Thomas.
What sort of madness is this?
I only know what the Padre used to say. He used to say religion was this and religion was that, but when I am away from all this, I shall try to look into the matter and I know whether it is right for me or not.
Oh, this is unheard of in a girl of your age. But if religion cannot lead you right, well, let me try and awaken your conscience. I presume you have some moral sense. Or am I to think that you have none?
That question is not as simple to answer as you think. I know that you and I look at it at a very different light. But I am learning too, and I am learning about the law, and I can't content myself that it is right that a daughter cannot save his dying father, that a wife cannot save her husband.
Oh, you talk like a child. You don't even understand the conditions of the world that you live
I
in.
do not understand it, and that's why I shall try to understand it and know whether it's right or I.
But Laura, you are ill. You are delirious. I almost think that you're out of your mind.
I've never been so clear and certain in mind as today.
Okay, is it the clear certain mind that you forsake your own husband and children?
With a clear and certain mind, Thomas.
There's only one explanation.
Whatever is
You
that.
do not love me anymore.
That's just it, Thomas. You know, it pains me so much, Thomas, that you've been so kind to me, but I don't love you anymore.
Is it with a clear and certain mind that you say that too?
With a clear mind, Thomas.
But Nora, can't you just tell me what I've done for future
Oh,
love?
yes, Thomas, I shall tell you what you have done. It was today that a wonderful thing did not happen, that I knew you are not the man I've known for 8 years.
Explain yourself better, I do not understand you.
Wonderful things don't happen every day. And I've been waiting for 8 years or God knows how long. Then a horrible misfortune came upon me that I knew a wonderful thing is going to happen. So when Cox's letter was lying in that letterbox, Thomas, never did I ever think that you will take his demands. I thought you would say and come out and post it, and then when that was done,
Yes, what then? When I expose my wife with shame and disgrace.
then you will have come out and say that it is your fault and you take full responsibility of it.
But Nora,
That is the wonderful thing that I waited to happen, Thomas. That to prevent it, I wanted to kill myself.
Nora, I would work day and night for your sake. Bear sorrow and want for yourself, but no man will ever sacrifice his own honor for the one he loves.
It is the
Never.
sacrifice that thousands of women have done.
Oh, you speak and talk like a heedless child.
And you neither speak nor think like a man like you wanted to be binded to. When your fear was over, it was not what would harm me, but what would happen. Then that was all over again. Then, now you sky up and you will treat me with tender love because I was so fragile. It's that time that it dawned on me that you're the man that I've known for 8 years. The man that I have worked 3 lovely children for. I want to tear myself into thousands of pieces.
I see. An abyss has opened between us. But Nora, can we just try and...
I'm not a wife for you.
But Nora, you see, I have it in me to become a different person.
Perhaps the dolly takes away from you.
But Nora, but for me and the children, why don't you stand that idea?
Well, there is a capacity to sober. I don't know what will become of me. But I know one thing, Towel, that when a wife deserts his husband, just as I am doing right now, you're free of all obligations. I'm free, Towel, from all your obligations. But it must be freedom from all else. Here's your ring. Mine.
That too?
Yes, that's it. My ring.
Say something, I'm giving up on
Not true.
you. I'll be the one if you want me to.
I shall leave the keys here. The maids know the house better than I do. Tomorrow, Christine will send my things after me.
But all over, Nora, shall you not even think of me?
I shall speak of you to our in this house.
But Nora, at least let me write to you.
Never.
Nora, let me help you when you're in want.
Never. Papa.
Please let me send you something.
I shall not receive anything from a friend to be mine.
Nora, shall it be anything more than a stranger to you?
I don't want. For things to be different, something wonderful must happen. But I no longer believe in wonderful things happening anymore.
Look, I will believe in it. Tell me, what are those?